The galaxy was vast, silent, and orderly. Millions of worlds spun around countless stars. Alien civilizations thrived in their empires, alliances, and conflicts. And humans were a legend whispered in old texts. Most considered them extinct, wiped out centuries ago by their own wars and chaos. In the Galactic Council, a grand chamber floated above the crystalline surface of Arthes Prime. Alien delegates from hundreds of species gathered. Their forms were diverse: shimmering liquid beings, towering silicon titans, creatures with 1,000 limbs, and entities whose presence bent light. All watched holographic projections of a distant sector, the supposed dead zone where humans once lived. "This sector is empty," said Lord Threx, the spindly emissary of the Varnak Dominion. His voice vibrated like strings of a metal harp. "No life, no activity, nothing but dust and echoes. Any attempt to investigate is wasted resources." A ripple of agreement passed through the chamber. Laughter, subtle and condescending, echoed in translation. "Humans?" hissed Queen Salvera of the Zephyrians. "Weak, emotional, violent. They destroyed themselves. Their extinction is a relief to the galaxy." But then the council sensors detected something strange. A faint pulse, irregular and patterned, unlike natural phenomena. A signal. The chamber fell silent. Every alien head turned toward the main projection. "Impossible," said Threx, his many eyes narrowing. "Humans cannot exist here. This must be a malfunction." The signal repeated, growing stronger with each cycle. It carried data, coordinates, messages, and a name that had not been spoken in centuries: Terra Nova. Queen Salvera leaned forward, her translucent form pulsing with light. "Send a fleet. Find out what foolish creature dares to use human tech. If there are survivors, they will be pathetic relics like the myths say." The council agreed. Within hours, a strike force of warships, each the size of small moons, warped into the coordinates. Their sleek hulls reflected alien starlight, their weapons ready to obliterate anything that might threaten galactic order. Meanwhile, on a hidden planet in the edge of human-explored space, the signal's origin blinked steadily. Terra Nova was nothing like Earth. It was rough, wild, and untamed. Red deserts stretched to jagged mountain ranges, storms of shimmering particles danced across the skies, and oceans of liquid crystal reflected two suns. Here, humans lived in colonies far removed from Earth, descendants of those who had fled centuries ago. They had survived, hidden, building technology far beyond anything the galaxy expected. Captain Mira Talon stood on a cliff overlooking the colony. Her uniform was simple but functional, patched with years of battle and exploration. Her dark eyes scanned the horizon, alert. Behind her, hundreds of humans worked. Scientists adjusting antenna arrays, engineers recalibrating energy cores, soldiers maintaining plasma turrets. Myra's communicator crackled. "Commander, the Galactic Council fleet has entered our sector. Sensors confirm, thousands of vessels. They're powerful, but we're ready." Her lips curled into a wry smile. "Let them come. Let the galaxy remember why humans are not so easily forgotten." The first alien scout ship appeared, shimmering like a shard of glass against the twin suns. It transmitted a message. A booming alien voice filled the air. "Humans of Terra Nova, surrender. Your species is extinct. Resistance is futile. You will be destroyed." Myra's hand rested on the railing. "Commander Talon, this is humanity speaking," she said calmly. "We are not extinct. And we do not surrender. If you wish to learn the meaning of survival, come closer." The scout ship paused, then fired a warning pulse. The sky ignited with energy arcs as humans responded, not with panic but precision. A defensive field shimmered across the colony. Energy cannons activated, and drones rose in coordinated formations. Within seconds, the scout ship was shredded, its hull turned to floating metal fragments. Back at the Galactic Council, alarms blared. "Impossible," Threx shouted. "This is a single planet, and it has destroyed one of our fastest vessels? What are these creatures?" Queen Salvera's face darkened. "Prepare the fleet. Send the flagships. Show them our power." The humans of Terra Nova watched as hundreds of alien ships approached the planet. Mira walked through the colony, checking defenses, her team moving like clockwork. Every human knew their role, every soldier, every engineer, every scientist. "Captain," said Lieutenant Cade, her tactical officer, "they're not just approaching, they're scanning. They want to know what they're dealing with." Mira nodded. "Good. Let them look. Let them see human ingenuity. Then we'll remind the galaxy why fear exists." As night fell, the twin suns dipped below jagged horizons, painting the sky with orange and violet. Terra Nova's surface glimmered with technology hidden beneath rugged landscapes. Sensors, shields, weapons arrays, all silently waiting for the first strike. And far above, in the void between stars, alien warships hesitated. For the first time, doubt crept into even the most confident minds. A species they thought extinct, now alive, hidden, and armed. Somewhere deep within the fleet, a Zephyrian analyst muttered, almost to themselves. They are not just surviving. They're prepared. Too prepared. The galaxy had just heard a signal it would soon regret. The alien fleet loomed above Terra Nova like a storm of steel and light. Hundreds of vessels, each bristling with weapons designed to erase worlds, moved in perfect formation. From their perspective, the humans were little more than insects, scattered survivors clinging to a forgotten planet. But Captain Mira Talon saw the battlefield differently. She had studied the incoming ships for days, decoding their patterns, weaknesses, and scanning their communications. Every alien fleet had a signature, a rhythm, a predictable arrogance, and that arrogance was humanity's greatest weapon. Commander Talon, Lieutenant Cade said, tapping her display, they're forming attack waves. Standard bombardment approach. If we respond conventionally, they will overwhelm us. Myra's gaze hardened. Then we won't respond conventionally. Initiate the Terra Nova protocol. Activate the decoy satellites. From the planet's surface, hundreds of small satellites launched into orbit. To the alien sensors, they looked like the colony's defensive grid, massive, impenetrable, and dangerous. But they were nothing more than bait. Hidden within the satellites were electromagnetic pulse generators and cloaked drones, designed to disorient, confuse, and destroy the alien fleet's command systems. As the first wave of alien vessels advanced, energy beams lanced through space. The satellites triggered in perfect timing. Pulses erupted in synchronized bursts, scrambling targeting systems and temporarily blinding enemy sensors. Ships swerved, fired wildly, and collided in confusion. A small Zephyrian cruiser spun out of control, breaking apart as humans watched from the planet's surface. Phase 1 complete, Mira said calmly. They think they have the advantage. Let's see how they react. Meanwhile, in the alien command bridge, chaos erupted. Threx barked orders in a tone that shook the chamber, but his fleet was in disarray. Signals were crossed, automated weapons misfired, and several ships had to retreat for emergency repairs. The aliens, confident and arrogant, had underestimated humans' capacity for adaptation. Queen Salvera clenched her luminous claws. This cannot be. Humans cannot strategize on this scale. They are supposed to be weak, emotional, primitive. A junior officer, shaking, replied, Your Majesty, they anticipated our attack patterns. They are using tactics we've never seen before. Salvera's glow intensified, a mix of fury and fear. Prepare the flagship. I will lead personally. Enough games. Back on Terra Nova, Mira watched the aliens regroup. Her second wave was ready. This time, she ordered the deployment of the hidden orbital railguns, giant kinetic weapons that could fire projectiles the size of small mountains at hypersonic speeds. Cloaked drones guided the projectiles into the gaps in the enemy formation, striking cruisers and carriers alike. Impact in 3, 2, 1, Cade whispered. Explosions erupted across the alien fleet. Ships disintegrated into shimmering fragments of molten metal and energy. Smoke trails lingered in the void, and even the most hardened humans couldn't suppress their exhilaration. Mira didn't smile. She knew the fight had only begun. Then came the first shocking twist. Sensors detected a massive object emerging from hyperspace. An alien dreadnought, larger than any vessel the humans had ever faced. Its hull radiated energy, its weapons capable of annihilating Terra Nova in minutes. And yet, the humans did not panic. This is what we've trained for, Mira said. All units focus. Target their weapon nodes. Use cloaked drones to disrupt power flows. We may be outnumbered, but we are not outmatched. The dreadnought fired its first beam. The sky over Terra Nova burned as energy tore through the atmosphere. The planet shook, sending tremors through the colony's surface. Humans scrambled to stabilize defensive arrays, but Myra's orders were precise and unflinching. Using the planet's magnetic fields, the orbital railguns redirected the energy pulse back toward the dreadnought. The massive alien ship shuddered, sparks flying from its surface. Mira allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The humans had turned the dreadnought's own energy against it. From the alien perspective, disbelief had turned into fear. No species, no matter how clever, should have survived this long against their firepower. And yet, here were humans, resilient, adaptive, and lethal. Salvera's fury burned hotter. If they survive this, I will personally ensure Terra Nova is erased. No human will remain. Threx hesitated. His spindly limbs trembled. Your Majesty, they are extraordinary. Perhaps the myths were wrong. Perhaps humans are more than we believed. Myra's team knew the aliens were assessing them now, measuring every response, every tactic. Humans had become a living puzzle, dangerous because they were unpredictable. The key to survival, Mira thought, was to remain unpredictable. Night fell again over Terra Nova. The twin suns disappeared below the jagged horizon, leaving the planet bathed in eerie bioluminescent light from its forests and crystal oceans. Humans moved like shadows, repairing weapons, feeding energy grids, and preparing for the next wave. Mira stared at the alien fleet looming above, knowing the war had only just begun. And somewhere in the void, she felt the first stirrings of what humanity would become. Not just survivors but conquerors in cunning, strategy, and endurance. The galaxy had not just heard a signal, it had awakened a force it had long forgotten. And the cost of that awakening would be greater than anyone could imagine. The alien fleet had regrouped, battered and confused. Dreadnoughts, cruisers, and fighters hovered above Terra Nova like predators circling prey, but the prey was no ordinary creature. Humanity had shown its capacity to adapt in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Captain Mira Talon stood in the command hub of Terra Nova's central citadel. Holographic displays flickered with enemy positions, shield status, and weapon readiness. The humans had suffered minimal casualties, but they knew this was only the beginning. Lieutenant Cade spoke with controlled urgency. Captain, the aliens are recalculating. They're analyzing our tactics. If we continue the current pattern, they'll find a way to overwhelm us. Myra's dark eyes scanned the fleet on the screen. Then we don't continue the current pattern. We change it entirely. Prepare the stealth frigates for the outflank maneuver. Deploy the Phantom Fleet simulation. The humans had perfected deception. Hundreds of cloaked ships, designed to appear larger and more numerous than reality, slipped into orbital paths. Advanced holographic projectors created phantom battle formations, making the alien commanders believe they faced thousands more vessels than actually existed. As the aliens planned their next assault, sensors picked up another anomaly, a wormhole forming just beyond the system. A sleek, alien scout ship emerged, different from the others. Its hull shimmered with adaptive camo technology, and it transmitted a chilling message. Humans, Terra Nova, surrender now. Resistance is a grave error. Our forces are limitless. Your extinction is inevitable. Mira didn't flinch. Record the message, she said. Transmit it to all units. Let them know who is arrogant enough to challenge us, and why arrogance is fatal. The humans had a plan. They would turn the alien fleet against itself. Using the planet's magnetic and gravitational fields, they lured several enemy ships into a trap. Hidden trenches on Terra Nova's surface were loaded with gravitic bombs. When the alien ships crossed the thresholds, massive pulses tore through their hulls, sending warships spiraling into each other. Explosions illuminated the night sky. Ships collided, energy beams ricocheted, and the vacuum of space was filled with fiery debris. The alien commanders struggled to regain order. On the bridge of the Zephyrian flagship, Queen Salvera's glow dimmed in disbelief. This cannot be. Humans are anticipating us at every turn. They are not only surviving, they are controlling the battle. Threx's many eyes darted nervously. Majesty, they are far beyond our estimates. Perhaps too intelligent for us to handle. Meanwhile, Mira activated the next phase of her plan. Coordinating from the Citadel, she sent stealth frigates and drone swarms to the alien command ships. Using EMP pulses and cloaked strikes, they disabled communication arrays, engines, and primary weapons. Panic rippled through the alien ranks. Ships that had once been symbols of invincibility now drifted helplessly, easy prey for targeted strikes. In a daring move, Mira herself piloted a small command frigate, weaving through the battlefield with precision. From the cockpit, she transmitted a message directly to the alien flagship. This is Captain Mira Talon of Terra Nova. You assumed humans were extinct, weak, and emotional. You were wrong. You will remember this planet, and this species, forever. The aliens responded with an energy volley, but it was too slow. Human cloaking technology allowed Myra's ship to strike the flagship's weapon cores directly. Massive explosions shook the alien vessel from within. Back on Terra Nova, humans cheered as the alien fleet began a chaotic retreat. The dreadnoughts that once loomed as invincible giants now burned in orbit or drifted powerless through space. The galaxy's so-called apex species were humbled in hours by a hidden human colony. But the victory was bittersweet. Scanners detected a far larger presence moving toward Terra Nova, an armada unlike anything in recorded history. Ancient alien war machines, rumored to be lost in the galactic wars of 1,000 years ago, were now emerging from hidden wormholes, drawn by the human signal. Mira turned to her officers, her face calm yet fierce. They think the battle is over. They think they understand us. But they don't. This is only the beginning. We survive, we adapt, and we fight smarter. Humanity always fights smarter. A young engineer, barely 20, approached with a data tablet. Captain, we've intercepted communications from their fleet. They are terrified. Entire species in the Council are calling for retreat. Humans are a threat they cannot calculate. Mira allowed herself the slightest smile. Good. Fear is the first step to respect. And respect is what they will earn for underestimating us. As the twin suns of Terra Nova dipped below the horizon, painting the planet in crimson and violet, humanity prepared for the next wave. This was no longer just a colony fighting for survival. They were the spark that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. In distant star systems, Council delegates whispered urgently. Ancient archives were opened. War fleets were mobilized. And a single horrifying truth began to sink in. Humans were not just back, they were something far more dangerous than the galaxy had ever imagined. The galaxy had sent its mightiest fleets to Terra Nova, expecting an easy victory. And it had underestimated the humans. Big, cunning, unpredictable, and utterly unyielding humans. The war for Terra Nova, and the fate of the galaxy, had only just begun. The galaxy stirred with panic. News of the surviving humans of Terra Nova spread faster than any fleet could travel. Alien civilizations, once secure in their dominance, now whispered in fear. Military councils convened, ancient alliances were tested, and secret war archives were dusted off. In the outer rings of the Andralis cluster, the Council of Elders, a coalition of the galaxy's oldest and most powerful species, met in an emergency session. Their grand chamber was carved from living crystal, shimmering with reflections of countless stars. The humans are not only alive, intoned High Elder Zyra, her voice resonating like deep chimes, they are intelligent, adaptive, and lethal. Reports indicate an entire fleet of our warships destroyed within hours by a single colony. This defies comprehension. A veteran Varnak general growled, his many limbs twitching with frustration. Impossible. One planet, primitive species, and they crippled our forces? There must be some secret technology. Some weapon we cannot see. A young Zephyrian analyst interrupted, trembling. No, it's more than that. They are not predictable. They learn, adapt, and strike strategically. Their minds, they think like predators, not prey. Meanwhile, above Terra Nova, Captain Mira Talon oversaw her fleet. Cloaked frigates patrolled the orbit, drones patrolled the skies, and human warships adjusted formations in anticipation of the next attack. The humans were calm but vigilant. They knew the galaxy's reaction would not be subtle. Lieutenant Cade turned to her captain. Reports indicate multiple fleets forming near the outer rim. They are uniting against us. We may face an armada larger than any recorded in history. Myra's expression remained steady. Let them come. Humans are not just fighters, we are thinkers. We turn disadvantage into strength, numbers into illusion. Prepare the planetary shields and ready the orbital railguns. We'll make the first move, not them. And the first move came swiftly. Alien warships emerged from hyperspace, warping in like jagged shards of metal across the void. Thousands of vessels, from nimble interceptors to colossal dreadnoughts, formed a crescent around Terra Nova. Their formation was flawless, by conventional standards. But humans did not fight conventionally. Using Terra Nova's unique magnetic fields, gravitational anomalies, and stealth drones, they twisted the battlefield to their advantage. Alien fleets expected straight engagement. Instead, they encountered shifting corridors of energy, sensor blind spots, and attacks from multiple unseen directions. Fire the gravitic cannons. Mira commanded. Massive projectiles shot from orbital platforms, each guided by cloaked drones into enemy formations. Ships collided, shields overloaded, and energy bursts painted the void in bursts of blue and gold. The aliens reeled. Their flagship, once the symbol of invincibility, was damaged severely, forced to retreat. Panic spread as the human fleet struck again, this time targeting supply vessels and repair stations. Every move was precise, surgical, and unexpected. Queen Salvera, observing from her flagship, bellowed, her glow flaring with rage. These humans are impossible. How do they anticipate every strike? How do they survive against our overwhelming numbers? Threx's voice shook as he added, Majesty, I fear Terra Nova is only the beginning. If we cannot crush them here, humanity may rise as a galactic force. Entire species are vulnerable to them. On Terra Nova, Mira activated the next stage of the human gambit, a planetary counteroffensive. Hidden launchers, buried deep within mountains and deserts, fired long-range kinetic projectiles. Cloaked drones guided them with pinpoint accuracy. Alien dreadnoughts and carriers were hit in critical zones, suffering catastrophic damage. Amid the chaos, Mira convened a holographic council with her senior officers. The galaxy is unprepared for humans. They underestimated our resilience, our ingenuity, our capacity to endure. We must exploit that. We do not just survive, we dominate strategy. Every fleet that comes must find itself defeated, or its command structure crippled. Cade's fingers danced across her console. Captain, sensors detect a wormhole cluster forming. It's unlike anything we've seen. Multiple fleets could emerge simultaneously. If they coordinate, we could be overwhelmed. Myra's lips pressed into a thin line. Then we turn that into an advantage. Use the wormhole signatures to set traps. Redirect their fleets into ambush points. Let them believe they are surrounding us, then hit where they are weakest. As humans prepared, far-off alien worlds erupted in unrest. Star systems that had once scoffed at the notion of humans now debated evacuations. Galactic trade networks were disrupted. Entire species reconsidered alliances. Humanity's resurgence had thrown the established order into chaos. And then a new shock. A massive alien signal was detected, unlike the previous fleets. It was a message, ancient and clear, broadcast across hyperspace. The signal warned. All species, humanity is no longer your myth. Terra Nova is the first. Prepare or be erased. The Council on Terra Nova listened in silence. Myra's hand hovered over the command panel. She knew the galaxy had just begun to feel the true power of humans. Night fell again over Terra Nova, but the twin suns had left behind a glowing aurora that reflected off crystal oceans. Humans moved through the forests, deserts, and cliffs, repairing, recalibrating, and preparing for the next wave. They were calm, precise, and ready. The galaxy was shaking. Alien empires that had once claimed supremacy now feared Terra Nova, and the humans who commanded it. Mira spoke quietly to her officers. They think we are weak. They think a single colony cannot oppose them. Let them come. Every step they take, every ship they send, every plan they form will only teach them how dangerous we are. Humanity is not just surviving, we are awakening. And far above, the alien fleets paused, sensing a storm of intelligence, resilience, and cunning unlike anything they had encountered. The humans of Terra Nova were no longer a colony, they were the beginning of a galactic reckoning. The galaxy trembled. Alien fleets, once confident, were battered, demoralized, and terrified. Rumors of humans' cunning and adaptability had spread faster than any fleet could chase them. Terra Nova had become a symbol, a spark igniting fear in even the most ancient and powerful empires. Captain Mira Talon stood on the command deck of the largest human frigate. Outside the viewports, space shimmered with fleets still in formation, but humans no longer waited. They were going to take the fight to the galaxy. Lieutenant Cade, Mira said, voice calm but commanding. Prepare the offensive grid. We are no longer defending Terra Nova. We strike where they are weak, disrupt their alliances, and force them to acknowledge humanity's return. Cade nodded, eyes scanning multiple holographic projections. We've identified command centers and supply chains for the approaching fleets. We can cripple them before they regroup. Cloaked frigates are ready to infiltrate and sabotage their internal networks. Good. Execute the preemptive gambit. Let's remind the galaxy that humans are not prey, they are predators. In a coordinated display of precision, stealth frigates slipped past alien patrols. Cloaked drones infiltrated enemy ships, severing communications, sabotaging engines, and planting energy disruptors. In minutes, entire formations became disorganized, their weapon systems failing. Back on Terra Nova, Mira coordinated orbital strikes with the planetary railguns. Targeted volleys shredded alien supply lines, while decoy ships forced dreadnoughts to expend ammunition and maneuver into disadvantageous positions. Alien admirals struggled to adapt, but every move was anticipated. Humans had turned the battlefield into a game of chess. Only every piece moved faster than their opponents could predict. Across the galaxy, word spread of humans striking alien fleets in their own territories. Planetary governors of previously hostile worlds whispered among themselves, "If humans can do this from Terra Nova, what else are they capable of?" On a distant Zephyrian command station, Queen Salvera seethed, her energy aura pulsing violently. "They are not just fighting, they are controlling us. Every fleet we send, every attack we plan they counter. They are calculating, ruthless, and unpredictable." Threx added, trembling, "Majesty, a humanity is not a threat you can fight conventionally. Their strategies are beyond our simulations. Entire species will fall if we do not adjust, and quickly." Meanwhile, humans executed an audacious plan, the stellar ambush. Using a combination of gravitational anomalies, cloaked frigates, and holographic decoys, they lured an entire alien fleet into a trap within a nearby asteroid field. Alien ships, confident in their firepower, followed blindly. Then the trap was sprung. Hidden railguns fired massive projectiles from the asteroids, and gravitational pulses tore the enemy formations apart. Dreadnoughts collided, carriers were disabled, and fighter swarms were annihilated in seconds. From the bridge of her command frigate, Mira observed the chaos with satisfaction. "Every empire that doubted us will now learn why humans are never to be underestimated. They will understand our intelligence, our foresight, and our ruthlessness." Cade glanced at the tactical display, shocked at the speed of the operation. "Captain, they're calling for ceasefires. Entire fleets are retreating or surrendering. No species has ever reacted this way." Myra's lips curved slightly. "Good. Let them think the humans are only on Terra Nova. Let them believe survival is still possible. The galaxy underestimates us, always underestimates us. That will be their downfall." But victory brought no complacency. Sensors detected massive wormholes forming in distant sectors. Ancient alien armadas, long thought extinct or trapped, were emerging. Mira turned to her team. "We've won battles, but the war is far from over. The galaxy is waking up. And now we must awaken fully." To ensure humanity's dominance, strategic alliances were formed, not with submission but with respect. Humans sent emissaries to alien species that had yet to take sides, offering protection in exchange for knowledge and cooperation. Many joined, swayed by humans' unmatched strategic brilliance and the stark reality of their power. Aboard the flagship of one newly allied species, an ambassador transmitted a message to the Galactic Council: "Humans are not myths. They are apex strategists, adaptive fighters, and unstoppable. Terra Nova is merely the beginning. Align with them or be destroyed." On Terra Nova, Mira walked through the colony, inspecting weapons arrays, energy grids, and troop positions. The planet itself had become a fortress, a symbol, and a command center. The people who once hid in fear now moved with the confidence of apex predators. She stopped at the edge of a cliff overlooking the twin suns. The skies glowed with auroras reflected from crystal oceans. "We are no longer a lost colony," she said quietly. "We are humanity returned. Not as weaklings. Not as relics. But as the future rulers of strategy, adaptation, and power in this galaxy." And far above, alien fleets hesitated. Every species, from the smallest scouts to the most ancient dreadnoughts, now recognized the terrifying truth. Humans were not just alive, they were apex, unstoppable, and calculating. The galaxy had finally realized what it had done by ignoring the signal from Terra Nova. Humans were back, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The galaxy was in chaos. Centuries of assumed order and dominance had collapsed under the cunning, adaptability, and sheer determination of humans from Terra Nova. Fleets that once seemed invincible now drifted disabled in the void, their commanders either dead, captured, or retreating in disgrace. Entire star systems that had doubted humanity now trembled at the mere thought of their name. Captain Mira Talon stood at the command hub of Terra Nova's flagship, the Indomitable. Outside, alien fleets gathered for what they hoped would be a final decisive assault. Massive dreadnoughts formed crescent formations, cruisers bristled with weapons, and squadrons of fighters hovered like swarming hornets. But Mira knew the galaxy had miscalculated. Humans had evolved far beyond simple survival. "Lieutenant Cade," she said, eyes scanning the incoming fleet's formation, "it's time to end this. Execute the Apex Gambit. Every fleet, every station, every drone, strike at their command nodes first. Disable, disrupt, and dominate. We show the galaxy that humans are not just survivors, we are apex. Cade nodded, activating the network of cloaked ships and drones. Tiny vessels slipped past enemy sensors, infiltrating dreadnoughts and command cruisers. EMPs and energy disruptors silenced weapons, scrambled communications, and caused panic to ripple through the alien formations. The humans had mastered asymmetrical warfare on a scale the galaxy had never seen. From orbit, humans launched the planet's orbital railguns. Massive kinetic projectiles, guided by cloaked drones, struck with pinpoint accuracy, tearing through command vessels and carriers. Explosions lit the void like artificial suns. Alien admirals tried to reorganize, but every maneuver had been predicted and countered. On the flagship bridge of the Zephyrian Queen, Salvera's luminescent form flared with fury. How are they doing this? One planet, one species, and yet they control the battlefield. Threx, his spindly limbs trembling, muttered, "Majesty, it's not brute strength. They are strategy incarnate. They anticipate, adapt, and dominate. Entire fleets cannot match their intellect." Meanwhile, Myra's voice echoed through the communications channels, calm but commanding. "This is Captain Mira Talon of Terra Nova. You assumed humans were extinct, weak, and chaotic. You were wrong. You are witnessing humanity's apex. Cease your aggression or Terra Nova will no longer defend itself. We will strike to dominate. The galaxy will remember this day. Humanity is here and humanity is supreme." Some alien commanders surrendered immediately. Others tried to flee. But humans pursued with precision, their stealth frigates picking off stragglers and their orbital networks cutting off escape routes. Within hours, the battle that should have been a massacre of humans had become a systematic dismantling of alien fleets. On the ground, Terra Nova's cities glimmered with activity. Engineers maintained energy grids, scientists recalibrated weapon arrays, and soldiers prepared for any final attacks. The planet itself had become a fortress, a symbol of humanity's return, and its unmatched capability. Mira walked through the command center, watching young officers and veterans alike coordinate flawlessly. "We've proven survival," she said quietly, "but survival was only the beginning. Humans don't just endure, we dominate. Every species that underestimated us has learned its lesson." And the galaxy began to listen. Far from Terra Nova, the Council of Elders convened in emergency. Ancient species debated, argued, and panicked. They had never faced a species capable of uniting intellect, strategy, and adaptability in such a deadly combination. Some called for immediate ceasefires. Others suggested full-scale retreat. All agreed on one truth: humans had returned, and they would not be ignored. In the aftermath of the battles, Mira addressed her people. From the central plaza of Terra Nova, she spoke to thousands gathered, their faces lit by the aurora of twin suns. "Humans," she began, voice strong and clear, "for centuries the galaxy believed we were weak. It believed we were extinct. But we have returned. Not to beg for recognition. Not to hide in fear. We return as the apex of strategy, intelligence, and resilience. Today, Terra Nova stands not just as a colony, it stands as proof of humanity's place in the galaxy." Cheers erupted. The humans of Terra Nova, survivors of exile and obscurity, now stood as the vanguard of a species that would redefine galactic power. Even alien empires, humbled and awed, sent envoys to negotiate, acknowledge, and even ally. Humanity had not just survived, it had become the standard by which all others were measured. And far above Terra Nova, in the void between stars, remnants of the alien fleets drifted silently, shattered and calculating. They had underestimated humans and the cost had been staggering. Mira Talon looked at the horizon, where twin suns kissed the jagged mountains, reflecting off crystal oceans. "The galaxy thought a signal was a warning," she said softly, "but it was a declaration. We are back. And the galaxy will never forget humanity." The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter over Terra Nova that night. The humans had sent a signal. And the galaxy regretted hearing it.